Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. Sacramento County Sheriff's Office says a Border Patrol operation was conducted Thursday morning at a Home Depot parking lot in South Sacramento. We have the latest on exactly what happened. Then an update on the controversial California HighSpeed Rail project. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts now.
Immigration enforcement concerns top our news at 5. Good evening. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. Thanks for joining us. We're tracking federal immigration operations in the capital city today. Happening right now, some community members are coming together in protest.
This after Border Patrol agents in a Home Depot parking lot and other immigration operations in South Sacramento. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras joins us now live.
Gabriel, what are you hearing from people on the ground there?
Well, Chris and Laura, we're hearing a lot of frustration, even some fear from people on the ground. The operations that we're aware of happen about 8 miles south of the state capitol here, but this is where people are gathering to express that frustration and that fear. It's the same sentiments that were expressed at a smaller protest all day, where one of those operations appeared to target those at a Home Depot. Chants and honks in front of this South Sacramento Home Depot all day long.
Hey! Leave him alone!
Hours after Andrea Castillo's cries.
My husband is a hardworking man with no criminal record. He was here to buy work supplies. His work van is still in this parking lot. That's my husband. He's a U.S. citizen.
Yet her husband was detained, video shows, by agents with the Border Patrol.
I said, stop, leave him alone. He's a U.S. citizen. What are you guys doing? He's a U.S. citizen. They grab him. They throw him in an unmarked minivan. There's already men in that minivan. Where is he going? That's my husband!
In a social media post, a Border Patrol official said at least 8 people were arrested during the operation for being in the country illegally, one of them with charges related to fentanyl trafficking. Castillo's husband facing charges of impeding or assaulting a federal officer.
I pulled up to Home Depot and I just seen a whole bunch of chaos. I seen people in vests and I seen people running.
This morning's operations didn't just happen in public locations like the Home Depot parking lot. They also moved to residential neighborhoods like this one off A Parkway. We're also told that ICE activity was reported off Titian Parkway.
You just throwing him in a van and leaving without anything to say, and I don't think that's right.
Neither do these protesters who this morning were moved by a wife's cries.
Be careful. This could happen to you. This could happen to your family. It's not about you being legal or illegal anymore. It's about you being brown.
Of our future. And we are here.
And in a statement today, the governor echoed that message, his office writing, quote, "The Border Patrol should do their jobs at the border instead of continuing their tirade statewide of illegal profiling and illegal arrest." For now, people here at the state capitol hoping to make their voices heard and hoping for an end to these federal immigration operations. In Sacramento, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Gabriel, thank you. And keep in mind, just this week, a bill that aims to bar law enforcement agents from concealing their identity passed a key legislative committee. Senate Bill 627 includes exceptions like an officer working undercover or a SWAT team operation. But the agency says the masks are critical for the safety of law enforcement.
Also today, local leaders announced a new plan to protect immigrant rights and give them the tools to deal with aggressive enforcement tactics. Here are the details. It's called the Sacramento RISE Hub. RISE stands for Regional Immigrant Support and Empowerment. The hub will provide rapid response infrastructure, legal assistance, and community education, all in collaboration with local schools, labor unions, faith-based groups, local governments, and other community-based organizations.
We're already starting to see very aggressive ICE enforcement here in Sacramento, including completely disregarding due process for immigrants who should have that.
This new hub is part of a new network of 11 across the state, funded by the California Department of Social Services.
Well, hundreds of trees along the American River and the habitat around them could be removed as part of a flood and erosion control project. Now neighbors in a Sacramento County neighborhood, La Riviera neighborhood to be more specific, are urgently fighting the plans, which are up for an important vote tomorrow. ABC10's Becca Hobegger shows us what's at stake.
We're in the south field of Larchmont community park.
Josh Thomas and Pete Spalding live in Sacramento County's La Riviera neighborhood.
People often bring their dogs out here. If you come here in the evening, it'll be filled with children playing soccer.
But the park could be filled with construction materials and equipment as soon as next summer. Its soccer fields are set to be the staging area for part of a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers project aimed at protecting the levee from erosion in the event of a disastrous flood.
There's a lot at stake should a levee breach occur.
Hans Kuroda with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Sacramento District walked me through the American River Common Features project. He's the engineering program manager on the project.
The levee systems were protecting over 500,000 people, and there's over $62 billion in assets that are at risk should a levee breach occur, and over 125,000 structures. So our mission and our job is to ensure the flood risk to the community is addressed.
The Corps is seeking environmental approvals to move forward with a part of the project called Contract 3B, which would affect trees and riverbanks along a 3-mile stretch of the American River from Howe Avenue to just east of Larchmont Park. It calls for the removal of some 700 trees, which neighbors with the group American River Trees say is overkill.
Do I care about erosion control? You bet. Do I care about flood protection? You bet. I've had flood protection, I've had flood insurance ever since I lived here. I'd be stupid if I didn't cover that. But to see Sacramento's greatest asset get torn apart when it doesn't have to be, that's what keeps us working to change the design plans.
They say trees provide natural erosion control.
Their roots, they get really extensive and they really hold together the bank. And these white alders will be removed by their project.
There's not much existing bank left in between the levee and the main river channel, and that bank is composed of highly erodible sands and silts. Despite the presence of vegetation,
neighbors say they want to see more targeted surgical approaches to erosion rather than the transformation of entire stretches of the riverbank like this core work done along the river in 2023 near Sac State.
I would argue that this project is being very targeted. The areas that we're planning to construct erosion protection is just the areas where there's an immediate threat to the levee system and the community from an erosion-induced levee failure.
On Friday morning, the project goes before the Central Valley Flood Protection Board for a vote. And neighbors I spoke with say they are asking anyone with concerns to come and share those with board members. Concerns also include noise and vibrations from construction, air quality, and proximity to an elementary school. The Corps says their goal is to monitor and mitigate harmful impacts as much as possible. In Sacramento County, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
And if the project gets all the approvals that it needs, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says once work begins, it would last for 2 summer construction seasons. And we have put all of this information about tomorrow's meeting and the project on our website over at abc10.com/links. Could prisoners return to Alcatraz? They will if President Donald Trump gets his way. Today, 2 of his cabinet members visited Alcatraz Island. Take a look.
Top Trump officials made the trip to Alcatraz Thursday. Officials only allowed Fox News to join their tour on site. Bondi telling the outlet she sees potential for restoration.
It could hold illegal aliens. It could hold anything. This is a terrific facility, needs a lot of work, but no one has been known to escape from Alcatraz and survive.
The reason they're keeping it a secret is because I don't think they're very well organized, but also it's such a bad idea.
Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi also slamming the administration's efforts.
If they want to spend money on prisons and public safety, there are other areas that they can do it. The price that it costs is exorbitant, but it's not just the price, it's the money to pay for it. We have better uses for it.
Republicans in Congress are working on a bill to end environmental protections for Alcatraz and take away the National Park Service's control of the site.
Everything I know from when I was in the Senate tells me that it is practically impossible to take away a park designation from a property like this. I've never seen it happen.
Boxer says the visit is meant to take away attention from a decision to not release additional files in the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Pam Bondi leaving Washington is a distraction from the Jeffrey Epstein files. That's what this is about. No question in my mind. And this is a president who claims, he has to cut wasteful spending. He's going to spend 4 times more on a prison than another prison. It's all part of this fantasy.
The National Park Service estimates it would cost $250 million to make the facility habitable again.
And Interior Secretary Doug Burgum told Fox News their trip was primarily to look into this as a possibility, and nothing is a done deal. Well, Bont is challenging a rule he claims will make it harder for people to get health care under the Affordable Care Act. The Trump administration's final rule would make a number of amendments to rules governing federal and state health insurance marketplaces like Covered California. It's estimated more than 1 million people could lose their health insurance, while causing millions to pay more for premiums and out-of-pocket costs.
It contradicts the ACA's guaranteed issue requirement, and it overrides state flexibility without legal basis. We're asking the court to block the challenged portions of this rule before they cause irreparable harm. This is about upholding the law, defending the ACA, and making sure no one's forced to go without care because of an unlawful, unjustified federal rule.
California has approximately 2 million ACA plan enrollees, the third highest of any state. And tonight, California is suing the Trump administration over federal funding for the HighSpeed Rail project. $4 billion was officially cut just last night. And tonight, local lawmakers and a congressman are now sharing their thoughts with ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen on how and where that money should be spent.
California's controversial HighSpeed Rail Authority will now have to figure out how to come up with extra funds after $4 billion in federal money was cut from the project. Tonight, Democratic State Senator Dave Cortese tells ABC 10 California will be responding with a lawsuit.
Now what's going to occur is a lawsuit between us, the AG's office, and the administration, which will probably tie things up for, I'm assuming, 2, 3, 4 years. And during that time, nobody can do anything with the cash flow.
To date, HighSpeed Rail officials say the Merced to Bakersfield corridor cost ranges between $34.9 billion to $38.5 billion, which is a big difference from the initial proposed $45 billion for the entire project from San Francisco to Los Angeles. State Democrats say losing the federal money is a huge blow, but the state does make up a majority of the funding. Democratic state lawmakers say the federal government's action will not stop the project from moving forward.
I'm pursuing legislation this year to speed up the permitting for high-speed rail so it doesn't constantly get delayed. And in terms of funding, we need to invest as a state, and we have to be creative, and we need to consider, for example, partnerships with private entities.
Meanwhile, Republicans see this as a win for the state. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley, who introduced legislation to cut federal funding earlier this year, says this is going to save billions of dollars in wasteful spending and believes it can go towards more useful projects in the state.
We are also sending a letter to Secretary Duffy today that's going to ask that the funds that have now been rescinded will be redirected towards other needed transportation infrastructure in California.
State Republicans say Californians have more pressing issues to tend to, like lowering the cost of gas.
You take that $1 billion a year that we do every year and actually lower the gas prices for California residents. We have the highest gas prices in the country by $1.50 a gallon. So I think that would be better for the people of California.
At the state capitol, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
Andrea, thank you. Let's bring in meteorologist Brendan Minsheff now as we talk about these conditions, especially at night. It's sometimes downright cool these days.
Yeah, I'm wondering what season it is. Sometimes it's a little fall-like, a little brisk.
It definitely feels a little bit more like early June at times, especially in the morning hours and in the afternoons. Oh, excuse me. Yesterday, we only made it into the low 80s. So, yeah, it hasn't really felt much like July. And I'm here to tell you, over the next 10 days, it still is not going to feel all that much like July. We'll start with radar and satellite. Plenty of sunshine, no rain across Northern California. The only rain we do have is over here into the state of Nevada. This is even east of Highway 395. So again, no rain in Northern California. But here's the deal. This rain here was part of that monsoonal flow into Nevada that is going to be turning off for the next few days as well as high pressure moves away. More on that in a second. We made it to 89 so far today in Sacramento, 90 in Stockton, 89 Modesto, 91 Marysville, 80s, low 80s in the foothills, in the high country, and mid 80s in the foothills. But that is below normal for the time of year by a few degrees, especially in the valley. We should be in the low to middle 90s. Right now, 87 in Sacramento, 90 in Stockton, 88 Modesto, 91 in Oroville, 81 in Nevada City, and 78 in South Lake Tahoe at the moment with a very nice onshore wind already 10 to 15 miles per hour across the valley, closer to 20 miles per hour out through the Delta. And we're seeing some winds up in the Sierra as well, as strong as about 25 miles per hour. As we look at downtown, it's currently 87 degrees. This is warmer than yesterday. Remember, low 80s yesterday. So because we did make it into the upper 80s, even though the evening's not all that bad, it's a bit warmer than what we saw on Wednesday. As we go hour by hour through the evening, we'll be in the mid 80s by 7 o'clock, low 80s by 8 o'clock, and then into the 60s as we approach midnight. And we'll start off tomorrow morning in the middle 50s. 55 in Elk Grove, 56 in Stockton, about 60 in Stockton, 56 in Sacramento, 56 in Vacaville, 55 Fairfield, 61 down in Modesto. Another cool start. That average low is 60 degrees, so we're going to be about 5 degrees cooler than normal on Friday morning. And through the daytime tomorrow, we're back towards seasonal. A lot more what we would expect to see. By noon, we're looking at 80 degrees, mid 80s by 2 o'clock, and a high temperature tomorrow of 91 in Sacramento, 92 Stockton, 94 Modesto. Very near seasonal. The average high is 93. Will be a couple degrees cooler than that tomorrow. But here's what I mean. That monsoonal flow is going to turn off because high pressure is moving out. This little cutoff low starts to dissipate by the time we get into Saturday morning. So we see that plume of rain move off to our east as well. So even places like Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, which typically see some of that monsoonal moisture this time of year, that's going to turn off because that flow is moving east with that high pressure. For us, we don't expect to see much in the way of rain anyway, but it does mean we can expect to see some cooler temperatures near seasonal for the next few days. Then we're back in the 80s by the time we get towards the start of next week. And we are going to be one of the only places in the U.S. that will be near average as we get towards the end of July. About us and the Pacific Northwest, and that's it. The rest of us are going to be warmer than average across the United States. So I think California really does have some of the best summer weather you can find. Over the next 7 days, we go from the 90s into the low to mid 80s, and then towards next weekend, about 9 days from now or so, we're back towards seasonal in the low 90s. So not hot. There is no big heat on the way.
Yeah, it looks good, Brendan. As we continue to celebrate the good weather, Disney continues to celebrate its 70th birthday.
And today, Stage 9 in Old Sacramento is getting in on the action. ABC 10's Mark S. Allen has a closer look.
Yeah, that's right, Chris and Laura. But first, guess where I am? I've never been so geeked out. I'm behind bars again, but forget about that. In front of the bars, guess what that is? It's a door, but not just any door. It's an original monorail door. So yes, as we celebrate 70 years of Disney at Stage 9, they've got a uniquely cool way to celebrate it with, like, look at that, an original Disney plushie handed out that day one. This is an amazing place. If you haven't been to Stage 9 down below, this is a paradise, but we'll get to that in a moment. In the meantime, take a look at this morning to kick off the 70th anniversary. They did it right. Cutting the ribbon, doing a lot of things exactly like Walt did 70 years ago. Now, look at 70 years ago, how far we have come. What is your favorite ride that has existed since then? And what's your favorite new ride? We'll talk about that in a minute. In the meantime, back here, camera guy Hugh and I, that's the very first ride we rode on, the Dumbo ride when we were wee lads. He and I, almost 70 years apart. Hey, it's Troy Carlson. Hey. You created this. Look at this, 70 years of Disney you've been celebrating. How else are you celebrating here?
Well, we've curated 70 objects to celebrate 70 years of Disneyland's history, and you can come down anytime to see it, but especially this weekend. And we've got things from opening day all the way till, the most recent. But amazing park who set the bar worldwide for themed entertainment.
Yeah, no kidding. If you're thinking about coming tonight, hurry up because it all wraps up here at 8 tonight. But like you said, through the weekend, in there, take a quick peek. You and I love the Enchanted Tiki Room, and you have a tribute to that in the way of?
Hawthorne's Hideout. And I truly believe if you go to Disneyland and someone does not appreciate the tiki room, you got to rethink that friendship.
No kidding. 70 items here, all kinds of items celebrating Disney, and lots that you can take home if you want to. All right, so as we come back out here live, you have a happy birthday cake, Minnie and Minnie. You have 70 items historically that people can see. I guess we said it all. There's nothing else to be said except, hey, look at that. It's former ABC10 employee Tracy Rockefeller. And what is she holding? A cake that says ABC10. Because Chris and Laura, ABC10, also turned 70 this summer. So happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to Disney. Lots to celebrate. Chris and Laura, with that said, back to you.
Oh, I tell you, Mark, we thank you for that. And I have to say, Mark was especially dapper today in his white suit for the occasion, wasn't he?
Yes, always. And so much to celebrate. You know, I haven't been to Disney since I was a little kid, but so much has changed over the years. I always loved the Peter Pan ride.
Oh, but the Dumbo that's the one that was so special, right?
That one's very cool.
It is 6:41, and we're talking about Sacramento's music legacy. Our region's most influential and emerging urban music artists will be honored. It's through the first Greater Sacramento Urban Music Awards. Mark S. Allen there to tell us how this event is so important. Mark, good morning.
One that you guys probably wouldn't even think it would be.
Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, it says it right there, the Greater Sacramento Urban Music Awards. The first ever. I'm told that if you've wanted to go to the Grammys, forget about that for a minute, because this is right here in your own front or backyard. Let's meet the players. The legendary Jay King, friend of mine for a long time, founding member of Club Nouveau, and a lot of other things. First of all, the inspiration for this award show.
Knowing that we need a creative economy, that I believe that's the future of what's going to happen with local musicians, not just in this city, but across the state and across the country and probably across the world. Recognizing what we have here in our city, you know, we have a community radio station. We play a lot of local artists. When you play a lot of local artists, what you realize is we have a lot of great talent in this city and then in the surrounding cities and around the country. And we play it right here at 97.5 KDEE. We are the soul of Sacramento. And
grown folk music, as they say.
Well, grown folk music, but our new logo is we are the soul of Sacramento.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you want to nominate someone, right now we've planted the seed. You probably know someone. I mean, Walt Gray and I and many others are still mourning the loss of Mick Martin. I'm going to get on that and vote for him in just a little bit. Let's meet the other players involved. Good morning, miss.
Good morning. I'm Key Matthews.
All right, so we go way back. What is your involvement? And I do know, you know, something that I do know, you created that award, the physical award.
I did. In conjunction with another artist, yes.
Got it. You're a great designer. It's a beautiful award, gorgeous. We already see Derek D.O.A. Allen on there. Take a look at Derek Allen's career. He's being nominated a Lifetime of Achievement.
Right, yeah. It's going to be an exciting event to have individuals like Derek who've been doing this for such a long time, and they're known worldwide, but for us to put the spotlight on them right here in Sacramento, yes, we should stop sleeping.
So it's people
Sacramento.
born and raised, local, but went on to put Sacramento on the map. And for instance, in Derek's case, he produced for Janet Jackson, Grammy Award winner Janet Jackson, Lionel Richie, Tyrese, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
So to have Derek, and if you go to the Instagram page for the Greater Sacramento Urban Music Awards, you can actually download the link or click on the link that takes you to the Spotify list of all of the artists.
That's awesome. I'm going to forget it, but we'll link it to abc10.com. What is that Instagram?
The Instagram is GSUMA.
GSUMA? That's easy. That's easy. How exciting knowing that night's coming up and you will be there seeing the legends being celebrated.
Oh, I cannot wait. The creme de la creme is going to be there. We about to be out there fully glamour, Hollywood meets Sacramento. Y'all, I can't wait.
Speaking of which, Barry Dilly, Miss Broadway, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Broadway. I am one of the hosts of this wonderful event that's going down. We're going to be dressed to the nines, you guys. So if you got your tickets, you in for a show.
The hype is real. The hype is justified. So we want people to vote right now. We want people to also, it's not too late to maybe nominate some people.
Well, it is too late to nominate people.
All right, so it's too late to nominate people, but we want you to vote.
But you do. We want everybody to vote. You can just go to Google and just type in GSUMA vote, and it'll take you right there to the link. You click on it, and it's real easy and simple. And but this is going to be the sophistication of our creative community. You're going to see it on this night, and you're going to be able to honor and appreciate just what we have here in Sacramento.
The soul of Sacramento, but that doesn't exclude rock, jazz, hip-hop, R&B, everything.
This is just the beginning of the foundation that we're building for creatives in Sacramento. The one thing that I recognize is communities don't know each other. So writers don't know musicians. Musicians don't know actors. Actors don't know directors as it relates to the theater versus filmmaking, like what you do. Spoken word don't know lyricists. This is going to bring them all together. This is going to be the fabric that ties us all together. So the next time we do an award, we're going to do Best Filmmaker in Sacramento, and you'll be nominated for one of those.
Well, we're going to expand on all this. We're nominating everybody. If you want to be a part of this, and you need to, follow us into the 7 a.m. on the ABC 10 Plus app. A lot to talk about, Walt, and we did. Back to you.
Yeah, at 7 a.m. we can have Jay finish that thought that he has started in the next hour. Okay, Marcus Allen, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Before we go, of course, we want to mention our champions of hope, because we know that in news, stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening every day. From neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness, each week we're sharing stories of people who are really making a difference. So tonight in our Champions of Hope, we introduce you to a local woman who took a simple idea and built a powerful community. Tonight, how a walk turned into a journey of healing, connection, and growth. What started as one woman's journey through pain.
About 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I wasn't able to do the normal activity that I was used to doing.
Has grown into a powerful movement. Jennifer Kidwell's diagnosis left her in pain and on medication, changing her body. After talking with her doctor, she found a way to help heal.
So I started walking and I fell in love with it. And it was something that was really therapeutic for me and with my disease. And so then I thought, maybe there's other girls who want to walk.
She started Good Vibes and Strides, a walking club.
Just an amazing amount of responses saying, yes, I'd love to join you. And so the official walk that I planned, and I had 113 girls sign up for that.
Once a month, the group laces up for a new scenic route around the greater Sacramento area. The outings are open to women of all ages and backgrounds, offering more than just exercise, but a space for connection and community.
As you get older, I think that your friend groups get smaller, and then it's harder to meet people. So I absolutely welcome the older generation. I feel like there's also something super important about cross-generational conversations. There's things that you can learn from each other, and we have a lot more in common than we like to think we do.
Jennifer encouraging women to introduce themselves to new faces and reach out to anyone walking alone.
Every single event, we've had girls that come solo. So I always say, you might come solo, but you won't leave solo. You will always be walking with somebody. No girl walks alone.
And Jennifer says women have shared how these walks have really helped them break through loneliness, building meaningful friendships, and also discovering strength that they didn't even know they had. And I do want to mention there is a walk that's happening this Saturday. It's a Cool Girl Walk from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and it's at the Roseville Galleria inside, so you can beat the heat. If you want to check out the details, you can always look for our story on ABC10.com.
Thanks for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.